Hey, Ideal Protein Nation. We're back together yet again. This is only 1 week apart. We're cranking them out these days. I'm super, super excited about this show, as I am about every show. But this one is really going to be special. For those of you who are new to the Life Possible podcast, because we're still getting lots of new subscribers and people following us, the Life Possible podcast was created to spotlight successful clients, coaches, and clinic owners who have used the Ideal Protein program to reset their body, reset their mind, and actually reset what's possible for their lives. These people are now pursuing goals and dreams that they thought were dead and gone. They're pursuing goals and dreams. In some cases, they never even knew they wanted to. And so these stories need to be told. Every pound has a story, and those stories need to be told. And this is why I created the show. So who am I, and why am I even doing this? Well, I tell you what, there's no easy way to put this. My name is Dr. John Barnes. My clinic is Reset Wellness. We're an Ideal Protein clinic outside of Washington, D.C. And back in 2015, I found myself fat, sick, and depressed. The bad part about it was I didn't see a way out. I didn't understand what had happened to my body and my metabolism, and I gave up. However, I truly believe that God brought me the Ideal Protein program as the answer to a lot of my prayers, both personally and professionally. Today, I actually live a life I consider to be healthy, vibrant, and alive. These pictures were taken when I completed my first half Ironman distance triathlon at the age of 55. So, who do I have for you today? Well, I have a third time. This is the third time that she's going to be on my show. Third time's a charm. I have Sonya Jones. Sonya Jones was the runner-up in The Biggest Loser of season 16, which wasn't just any season. It was actually the athlete season, which makes it twice as amazing as it actually was. Sonya actually has written an incredible book, 44 Lessons from a Loser, which I'm going to encourage you to go to find on her website and pick one up. And she also now runs 2 Ideal Protein locations, one in Litchfield and the other in Springfield, Illinois. Sonya is a force of nature. I'm so glad that God brought her into my life. So let's bring her back into your life. Where is she? Sonya Jones, where are you? Hey, there you are.
What's going on, Ideal Protein Nation? How are you, Dr. Barnes?
I am doing great. Doing great. Thank you so much. We kind of did this at the drop of a hat, and but I know that you can do it, right?
Yeah, heck yeah. Let's roll.
Let's do this again. And actually, I was inspired by you gave a motivational talk at one of your clinics, Motivational Monday this past week. And I started listening to it and I said, you know what? All of Ideal Protein Nation needs these messages right now, right as we're on the cusp of the holiday season. Yeah. We're finishing up a year, 2023. It's been a challenging year for a lot of people.
Sure.
In many ways.
Yeah.
And I want you to kind of bring your message of hope to the people.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It is 2023 is going out, 2024 is coming in. And there's a lot of things that we're hearing in our clinics from our clients, things like it's hard. Things like it's hard to stay on protocol during the holidays, and things like, man, I don't know if I can eat the same thing all the time over and over again. And how do I do this? How do I, and there's all kinds of things that we're hearing. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just have a motivational Monday. We do these in our clinic periodically, and I bring people in, and whoever wants to come can come. I put this one on our Losing It Facebook site so people could listen online, because this isn't just about Ideal Protein. This is about life, and it's about making the best decision for you in the moments that come up. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and kind of help the people. It wound up going a lot longer than I anticipated, but a lot of people, it was well worth it. So yeah, it was awesome. It was a good night.
Oh, I'm sure it was so well received. You had a full house too.
Yeah.
It was like 30, 35 people there. And
I think so.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And again, when you talk, people listen, which is a fascinating part of your story, right?
Yeah.
Public speaking didn't used to be something that you ever thought that would be in your wheelhouse that you would do. And now you're just the most amazing public speaker.
Well, thank you. before I left for the show, honestly, I had a major stutter, a major stammer. You can
Yeah.
hear it sometimes if you listen. If I'm talking about things that I'm uncertain of,
Yeah.
man, I really feel like when I was on the show, a couple of things happened. I feel like the Lord healed me, and I really, I'm really grateful for that. But secondly, man, when I dropped the weight physically and gained some confidence,
Yeah.
because let me be very clear. It's not just about the weight loss, right? It's about the entire process. It's about being healthy in body, mind, and spirit. But once I started to really get healthy, I had some confidence that I had not known before. And one of my trainers, we were working out one day, or I was working out, and he pulled up. It was Jesse Pavelka, who is gorgeous. And he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, "I'm really in the middle of a workout." He's like, "Just." And I'm like, "Fine, Jesse, let's go." And he's like, "Listen, when you leave here, you're going to need an agent." I said, "An agent for what?" He's like, "People are going to want to hear you speak." I'm like, "No, thank you." I'm like, "I
Yeah.
will not speak in front of people. That's not my gift.
Right.
That's not my forte." He's like, "Trust me." He's like, "When you leave here," he's like, "Sonya, you're the only person that when they get on the scale, everybody, including, the people who are doing production, they stop and they listen." And he's like, "You just need to be prepared." And, God has really birthed something in me that I love it. There is nothing like a powerful message that's coupled with a microphone, because what you realize is that so many people don't even recognize, or they've never heard, that you're worth it, that you can do it, that this time will be different. And if you can couple a positive message with a microphone and share those things with people, man, it gives them just a little bit of hope to keep going. And that's what I love to do. Not everybody can go to The Biggest Loser. Millions of people apply, and only a few of us got to call the ranch home. But even if you could, you wouldn't want to, because it's hard. It's a lot of hard work. But there's some lessons from the ranch that really are for everyone, and that's
Yeah.
setting a goal, going hard after it, and crushing it, just to set a new one. Things like being able to have a sense of pride and a sense of accomplishment, and that's what I want to pay forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I think that also speaks to one of my favorite sayings, is that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called, right? And I really feel like that applies to your situation. And,
Absolutely. Yep.
yes, you've got so many powerful messages.
Okay.
So let's take the show where you wanted to take it in the first place. It's hard to do phase one, especially during the holidays. And what do our people kind of have to think about and do, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, as it relates to phase one, I mean, you just got to commit to do it, right? You have to do it. Just freaking do it. Make a plan, make it happen, right? And that's a mindset. And I get it that it's hard. The other night when I was speaking, a woman said, "Well, I'm doing all these cookie bakes and there's cookies everywhere." And another person said, "Well, I've got this and I've got leftovers." And I'm going to get to that here in a little bit, right? It is hard, but there's more to it than that. But if we will dedicate this time in our lives to our health, wow, that's what we need to do. And I tell people all the time, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan. No, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So
Right.
you have to be willing to set your plan, and you have to be able to follow through with it. If you don't do that, man, that's on you, right? And so I understand that it's hard, but a lot of things are hard, and we're going to talk about choosing your hard later. But
Yep.
man, in this phase, commit to it. Do it. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, right? We were created to do hard things. And though it might be hard, plan it, make it happen, set your mind, right? And like we've got right there, whether you think you can, you're right. Whether you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
You have to believe in you. You have to make sure that you're setting yourself up to win. You've got to place healthy boundaries around yourself. Commit to phase one and just do it. Commit with your plan and do it, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that you brought up was the fact that, this isn't just about the weight loss. It's actually about transforming your life, right? What is it that you say about weight loss as being like the beginning of transformation?
Here's what I say, that weight loss is not the key to happiness. But
Yep.
what weight loss is, it's the first key to unlock the first door to open a world of possibility that people never even knew existed. Most of our people, John, a lot of our people who will come into our clinics and pay pay to do Ideal Protein have tried so many other things, and they think, why would I do this? Why would I do this?
Yep.
Man, it just, I've done everything else. Well, you do this because Ideal Protein is different, right?
Yes.
And not only do we have the near perfect product, we have great coaches. We have people who believe in you, who have done it. And it's been, it's medically derived. It's scientifically proven to work. But here's going back to your point is this, getting healthy, maintaining your weight, man, it goes far beyond weight loss. It's about getting healthy in body, in mind, and spirit. And it's about life transformation, not weight transformation. And I tell people this all the time. You have to recognize that your worth and your value is not determined by a number on a scale. Your worth and your value is not determined by a $30 appliance that you can go buy at Walmart or Target, right? Your worth and your value, it's what's in here. And it's what's in here. And honestly, for a Christ follower, it's who God says we are, right? There are so many things that God says that we are. And you can, like for me, I still weigh every day. I really do. But I don't let that scale hold me hostage. I let it hold me accountable, but it will never hold me hostage again. And for so many years of my life, it held me hostage because I believed that my worth was tied to that number. And I hated who I was physically, man. I hated who I was. And so now I get to share with people that you can do this. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I worked on every diet plan that there was, right? I mean, I've done everything. And we have to realize that even though our weight doesn't determine our worth and our value, it certainly does determine how we feel about us, right?
Amen.
It does impact the way that we feel about ourselves, the way that we give love, the way that we receive love. And so we have to recognize that this is not just about weight loss. This is about so many other things that help us be the person that God created us to be.
Dang, I'm just going to sit there for a little bit. But
Just
yes, right?
You
Like
know.
that, and you can't deny it, right? So many people want to separate the idea that our weight contributes to our self-esteem, our self-worth, our self-value,
Yeah.
and our ability to not only love ourselves, but to love others, right?
Absolutely. And honestly, the perfect picture of love is Jesus, right? Is God's love. But I'm really good at taking God at his word for a lot of people. And when he says things like you're fearfully and wonderfully made, guess what? At 283 pounds, I didn't feel like that. I felt like a mess. I felt like a disaster. I felt like a hypocrite. So, but that doesn't change the fact that at 283, he loved me just as much as he does now, just as much as he did at 139, right? So all of those things, it's all about us being able to give and receive love. And man, there's just a whole lot that goes into that. And being able to love yourself, man, that's a big deal. Because like I said the other night, God didn't create junk. If you're here, you're here for a purpose.
I love that. I love that. Yes. So what do you feel like in a person's journey, in a person, especially in your journey of Ideal Protein, your journey of weight loss? What is everything? What is the number one thing that we have to go in with?
Well, there are two things we can control, right? What we put into our mouths, and number two, our attitude. That's it. In my book, there's something that I wrote in there. I actually emailed Pastor Swindoll, and it's called Attitude, and it's Attitude by Charles Swindoll. And I never read anything verbatim unless it's this. And I will tell you that, Pastor Swindoll said, yes, you can read it. You can put it in your book. That's fine. But this is what it says. And it says, the longer that I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It's more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures or successes. It's more important than what other people think or say or do. It's more important than the past, than education. It's more important than failures and successes. Attitude will make or break a company, a church, a home, a team. And I love this. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice every day regarding the attitude that we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way towards us. We can't change the inevitable. We can't change the things that are going on around us, right? We can't change that. But the only thing that we can do is we can play on the one string we have, and that's our attitude. And I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I respond to it. And so it is with you. You are in charge of your own attitude, right? And that last line
Mm.
Life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I respond to it. Guess what? We're out of chocolate smoothie right now. Big deal, right? There are people that can't get doors on their houses because there's a back order on that too, right?
Right.
We're out of certain things, or we're doing this or we're doing that. It's all about how we let that impact us, right? And I get it, it's hard, but the only decision that we have to make, two things. What am I going to eat? So what am I going to put into my mouth? And our attitude. Like, your attitude will make you or your attitude will break you, period, right?
Yep.
And so if you go into it with a healthy attitude, a good attitude, and you see the world and you see it through optimistic eyes, you're going to do a whole lot better than someone who's a pessimist. You just are. And, I realize that things are hard. I get that. But on the scope of life and the things that are really, really hard, I don't know. I don't think the fact that we can't get chocolate smoothie right now is a huge deal.
There are a lot of things going on in this world right now that kind of makes that pale in comparison as a hardship.
Right. Live in Israel. You think they're complaining about chocolate smoothie? I don't think so. Right. Yeah. So, but the thing is, there are so many things that happen to us every single day that we have a response, right? And we can only choose a negative or a positive response. That's the only thing we can do. But here's what I've recognized. And I said this the other night. This is probably one of the most stressful times in my life. It really is.
Yeah.
But I make the decision to show up every single day, right? I make the decision. I'm the only contestant, John, for my season who's remained at a healthy weight post-show without having gastric bypass, right? And that's not because I'm a woe is me person. That's because I'm like, dadgummit, today may be hard, but I'm going to go get it. The only thing that I can control is me. I can't control anything else. So I'm going to control me to the best of my ability. And what I'm going to do is make the best decisions that I can as it impacts me and as it impacts our clients and as it impacts the people in my life. And even though things are stressful and they're hard, man, stay in the battle, stay in the fight, fix your attitude, right? Because then I'll go back to what I said before. If you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're right. That's on you, man. We can give you all the tools that we have, but it's up to you to set your mindset and go freaking get it.
To me, and when you heard you say and talk about this quote, it speaks to victim mentality versus hero mentality, which is a big theme that we like to talk about in our clinic.
Sure.
And, again, when something happens to you, you can play the role of the victim. You can go down that path, like you said, which is the negative path, or you can choose the hero's path that says, even though this happened, I'm not going to let that stop me.
Absolutely. Right? That's huge. That's it right there. I mean, I'm not going to let it stop me. We go through a lot of hard things, right? We were created to do hard things. The only thing that we can be certain of is that things are going to get difficult, but we have a decision to show up in the ring every single day. And that's with every decision. I like to use this illustration a lot. You think about Muhammad Ali, right? Where was Muhammad Ali crowned a champion? He was crowned a champion in the ring. Where was he made a champion? 5 a.m. workouts. At making sure that he's studying his opponents, at doing the hard things. Man, everyone wants to be under the lights on Friday night, but not everybody wants to be at a 6 a.m. Monday practice, right? And the thing is, everyone wants to lose weight, but are they willing to meal prep? Are they willing to say no to the things that they really, really want in that moment for the self-gratification? Are they willing to have the champion's mentality, the victor's mentality versus the victim's mentality of no matter what it takes, I'm going to get it done? And why not take care of you? You're the best commodity that there is. Why not take care of you? There's no one else on this planet that can do what you do. And when I say you, I mean every individual that's listening to this. I mean, if I stopped teaching at Greenville University right now, they could find some other monkey to go teach what I teach, right? They couldn't find someone to be a daughter to my parents. They couldn't find someone to be a friend to this person or that person. So individually, we bring a lot to the table, and we got to remember that. And so whatever your hopes and your dreams are, man, set your attitude on it, set your eyes on it, and go get it.
Amen, sister. Wow. Yeah. And I love that whole analogy too, right? The way that I've heard it and the way that we use it in our clinic is that Olympic gold is not won on the day of the race,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And if you think about an Olympic athlete, they got 4 years to train in between. If that is their goal, they've got 4 years of decisions, right? Olympic gold is made every single day when they make a decision for that goal.
Oh,
Whether it's nutritionally, whether it's workout wise, whether it's sleep wise, whether it's a choice to miss an event because they've got a big workout the next day, right? And we translate that to phase one. We translate that to doing the protocol.
Right.
Every time you make the choice for your phase one choice in a social situation, right? When something bad happens to you, when you would normally reach for something else, right?
Right.
You are going to reach your goal based on every decision that you made for that goal, for
That's
you.
right. Yeah.
Right.
We're so used to being people of instant gratification. You have to be willing to delay instant gratification for what you want long term.
Yep.
Right. And so when you think of, going back to your Olympic athlete thing, one of my best friends on the show was Lori Harrigan Mack. Man, she didn't just decide to become an Olympic athlete and boom, she was there. She started when she was a little girl pitching, right? And that's what made her the best in the world. Yeah. I mean, and that's what it is. We don't have to be the best in the world, John. We have to be the best in our world. And we have to set ourselves up to win because I tell my wellness classes at Greenville this, you don't know what it's like to not be able to bend over and tie your shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what it's like to not be able to walk up a flight of stairs and not have to sit down. You don't know what that's like. But man, if you make the decision now, that'll hopefully prolong what you do long term, right? Hopefully it'll prolong those consequences. Hopefully you'll never get to that stage because you take care of you, right? But the thing is, our people don't expect greatness in this area. That's the problem. They don't expect it. They expect to be great daughters. They expect to be great people. They expect to be great neighbors, employees, colleagues, CEOs, all the things, but they don't expect to be great at weight loss. Why? Because they've lost every time. And that's why the first sign you see when you come into our clinic says, this time will be different.
Yes.
Because this time will be different. I've never found one person, not one person, that ideal protein protocol does not work for if you don't work it, right? So if you work it, it will work for you. I mean, the reason why I'm so passionate about the ideal protein protocol is because I am not coming up on 9 years post finale.
Yeah.
And I'm maintaining a healthy weight post show by using ideal protein. A lot of us lose weight a lot. We've lost a lot of weight over and over and over again. Some people lose the same 50 pounds 20 times, right? But I have maintained this weight loss and I've done it with ideal protein. And that's what makes me so passionate about it, is because I know that if I can do it, everybody else can too.
It's such a huge point. Everybody thinks of ideal protein as being phase one, right? Yeah. That's all they think about it. They just think about the weight loss. They just think about phase one. Yeah. And it's so much more than that. I think right now, the biggest value we have is what happens after you've lost that weight.
Absolutely.
Right? Learning good human nutrition, learning how your body responds to food, learning to live metabolically as opposed to, again, just thinking about things in terms of calories in and calories out. And
absolutely.
Right. It's such a whole different ballgame.
That's right. And statistically, I think that there are two really big points here. Number one, statistically, the best way for people, we know that the top two habits in not just weight loss, but weight loss and weight maintenance. Number one, journaling. I still, to this day, I journal everything on my phone, right? Yeah. The other thing is meal replacements. If you use 1 or 2 a day, that's great. I still use 1 or 2 every day. I'm the idiot that pays thousands to get it into my clinic, and then I'm the same idiot that brings it home. But the reason why I do that is because it works. Man, I love a vanilla crispy square. I love the oatmeal. I love the bars, right? So those are easy to grab and go. They're fantastic. Why wouldn't we do that? And the other point is this. and this is really important. You know, in 2012, the American Medical Association diagnosed obesity as a chronic and complex disease. Chronic because just like every other metabolic disease, if we don't stay on top of it, it's going to come back and bite us in the behind. Could you imagine going to a doctor and saying, look, doc, I know that my blood pressure is sky high, but I'm going to give you 6 months. I'm going to give you 6 months. And after that, I'm done. What's going to happen? You're going to die of a heart attack probably, right? So yeah, you can work to get it down, but you got to stay on top of it, because if you don't, it's going to come back. It's going to come back with a vengeance. But the other thing is the complex part of it is because you can say to an alcoholic, stay out of the bar. Mm-hmm. You can say to a cocaine addict, don't snort cocaine. You can't say to a food addict, don't have food. So we have to create healthy boundaries around food, and that's what we do. We've given food too much space in our lives, right? We've given food. The only problem that food can solve is one, and it's physical hunger. But we use it to celebrate. We use it to cope. We use it to do all kinds of things that we never should have used it for.
Yes.
Food,
yes.
Fuel, period. That's all it is. But we use it for so many other things, which is why we've gotten into the mess that we're in. So when you put food back in its right place, then you start to take the right place in your own life, which is taking care of you. And that's your health. And that's making sure that you are making the best decisions for you. And all that goes back and circles back to your attitude. Because again, if you think you're right, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right there too.
Amen. You know, and that's the other thing you just brought up too, right? It seems that, right? I love how you say all the time, I didn't get that way just because I like a little pizza.
There it is.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
That's right.
You know, it's when we use food for something that food was not meant to be used for.
Exactly.
Right. And that's when we get ourselves in trouble.
Well, and you know, that whole thought process, you know, and that's why that's why I have Julie in our clinic, Julie Ponder. She's an addictions therapist. She's a licensed clinical social worker and all those things, because we recognize that there's an emotional tie to food. You're right. I didn't get this way because I like a little bit of pizza. It is because I have an emotional tie to food, that every time I was mad, happy, angry, sad, I would go eat something else, right? So that's who we are even as a society. I mean, you think about it, someone passes away, right? And they don't come to your house with a big tray of broccoli. They come with pasta. Right. They come with chicken and noodles. They come with cookies and cakes. They come with all the things, right? And so we have to learn, and we don't respect sugar enough. We just don't. You know, the other night at our Motivational Monday, I asked Julie to talk about, you know, the area in your brain that when you have sugar, it lights up brighter than when a cocaine addict has cocaine.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You don't respect it enough.
No.
And you think you're just going to turn that off. No, that's why we do Ideal Protein, to break that habit. But we don't respect it enough because we let it in a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more. And eventually it's like, oh, I can't control it. I'm so weak. No, you're not weak. You're addicted. Yeah. And I get it. I was too, right? It's a whole different ballgame. I am grateful that my addiction doesn't have me laying on a corner begging for money. Yeah. But it's interesting because, you know, if I'm walking down the office hallway at Greenville and I'm eating a donut, no one will think, oh my gosh, call someone. Sonya needs help. She's an addict. But if I walk down and I've got, you know, a glass plate and I've got cocaine and I take a snort, or whatever you do, I think that's what yes. You snort that, then it's like, oh my gosh, call everyone. Sonya's got a major problem. But you don't realize that if I've had a donut in front of you, there's probably been 3 or 4 that you haven't seen, right? So just the fact that sugar is kind of the good girl's drug. It's the good boy's drug. So we don't respect it enough. And so the only way to break that habit, you know, go back to our buddy Ed, right? Ed Reardon, we love him, right? You got to control the insulin. You got to control that, or else you're never going to drop weight because you can't control your hunger.
Nope. And you know what? The donut won't keep you from driving. right? But the cocaine should.
That's right.
That's kind of the other thing is it's so easy and accepted, and it doesn't do anything to you in the immediate that is going to make you dysfunctional, right? That's not going to. You can eat a donut at work. However, you shouldn't be snorting cocaine at work, right? Or drinking alcohol or whatever it is.
That's
right. I wanted to throw a plug in real quick for episode 44 of the Life Possible podcast. If you did not see or listen to that, that's actually when we brought Sonya's partner Julie Ponder on to kind of talk about this aspect of weight loss, weight gain, and weight management. So I'm going to direct everybody back to episode 44 to see some of Julie's gifts and hear Julie talk. And then also, if I can get the graphic to go the right way, hey, the original time, I want to give a plug for episode 23, the original time that I had Sonya on the show, fresh into Ideal Protein. Man, that show was an absolute blockbuster. We talked so much about The Biggest Loser. We talked about your book, which we'll talk about at the end. I'm going to direct everybody back to those 2 episodes so that you can get even more Sonya Jones. I can't get enough of Sonya Jones.
Oh my gosh, I can.
Hey, so I tell you what, let's what was the other thing you were talking about when we said it's all where you place emphasis?
Yeah,
emphasis on what?
Everything, right? Emphasis on attitude, emphasis on a lot of things. Yeah, I got that from in episode 13 and 14 of The Biggest Loser. We had to suffer for Jesus in the land of Kauai, right? And that's
right.
Yeah, me and my trainer, Jen Wiederstrom.
And you're suffering with Jen.
I know, right?
You still haven't introduced me
I'm
yet.
sorry. I'll do that. She's awesome. She's fantastic. But we in that episode, now keep in mind, and you alluded to this earlier, we were the episode of athletes, right?
Yes.
And I was
it was absolutely fascinating. I binged the whole thing. I binged Biggest Loser. That sounds right. No. But I binged the whole thing. And when they started going through all the people that were on there, I was like, whoa.
Amazing. Yeah. So here is, you've got Damian Woody, 2-time Super Bowl champion. You've got Scott Mitchell. He was an NFL quarterback for 12 years. You got Zena Garrison.
Zena Garrison.
Won Wimbledon or like all these golds or whatever. And
I remember watching her.
Yeah. Then you've got, Vanessa Hayden, and Vanessa was in the WNBA, and my personal favorite, Lori Harrigan Mack, right? 3-time gold medalist, and in fast pitch softball. And then there's Sonya Jones. Now I was an All-American.
Yes.
From Louisville College, right down the road. Right. So I was very, very subpar. In the area of athleticism, I'm a good athlete, but nothing compared to these guys, right? So I didn't really think that I could win for a while, right? So then when we get to Hawaii, we're in Kauai, actually. We are in episode 12 and 13, and Jen and I kind of adopted this phrase, and I thought, why not me? Why not me to go and win this entire competition? Why not her to win it in her first season as a trainer? And why not us to do it together, because we'd become such good friends, right? So I was like, why not me? Why not me? And so every time I would train, why not me? When I didn't feel like, running, and I'm not exaggerating, my 22nd mile of the day.
I know, right?
I didn't feel like doing my 4th set of 44 burpees, which I still believe are from Satan himself. Why not me? That's like, Tabata training, going up the mountain for the 8th time that day. Sprinting up the mountain. Why not me? And that statement, John, it drove me to win the competition. And everything, Jen and I would send notes back and forth, and it would be like, Sonya, why not me, Jones? Right. Yep. And so I have this rock from there, and it was, why not me? Why not me? And that drove me every time that I didn't want to do something to do it harder and faster and stronger. And then on January 29th of 2015, in front of 5 million people, in front of a studio audience, boom, the confetti was falling, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, right.
I lost, right? I lost the title of Biggest Loser. I lost $250,000 by 0.01% of my body weight, right? Well, I lost $250,000 by less than a pound. And that's why everyone should go buy a book right now at my website. But anyway, no.
Well, you got to be close to 250,000 sold.
No, not that many. But here's the thing, and don't buy it on Amazon. Go through my website.
No, we got to go through the website. We'll talk about that.
the thing is, you know, if you had told me 30 minutes before I walked onto that stage that night, if you had told me that I was going to lose, I'd said you're crazy because I did everything just right. I ate correctly, I drank correctly, I slept correctly, I did all the things right. However, I lost, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that night, I'm laying in the hotel room at 3 a.m. and the tears are rolling, and I'm like, oh. So that statement of drive, that why not me? Why not me? I can do this. I can do this. Why not me? Turned into a victim's mentality of, oh, why not me?
Why not me? Wow.
I didn't win. Why not me? Same words, different emphasis,
Wow.
totally different meaning. Same
Wow.
words. I'm emphasizing them differently.
Yep.
So it's totally different. So what are you emphasizing? What are the things that you are emphasizing? Are you a person who like so here's the thing, going back to that story, like I let myself kind of lay there and waller in that for a while. And I can say waller because I'm from Litchfield, Illinois, but like, I let myself feel that emotion. I thought, why not me? Why not me to set my next goal, go hard after it and crush it just to set a new one? But also, why not me to use this platform to go out and help others in their area of weight loss and wellness and health? And why not me to go make a difference in this world, whether I have $250,000 or not? I would have loved to have been able to pay off my mortgage. Would have loved that. I would have loved to have the opportunity to bless other people and things like that. But I won that competition, right? I won. I got my health. I got my happiness. I got a confidence that I've never known. So why not me to go see what the next phase of this life has to offer? And why not them? Why not you, whoever's paying attention to this, right? Why not you to go get your dream, right? And when you emphasize things, make sure you emphasize what suits you for the better. And what I mean by that is statements like this, versus I have to versus I get to. You know what? I could say I have to go up and give my mom a bath. I have to go up and cook dinner for my parents. Or I could say, man, I get to do that because there are some people who don't have their parents, right?
Yep.
And I get to take my dad to a doctor's appointment. Or I have to go teach the students at Greenville. I have to go do that. No, I get the opportunity to walk through the doors and maybe impact one more student for the sake of Christ.
Wow.
I get, I have to go to the clinic today. I have to stock shelves. I have to do this. I have to do that. No, I get to go into my clinics because that's where life transformation happens. And I get to be a part of something great that helps people recognize that they're worth it and they can do it. And yes, you can. And this time will be different. So when you emphasize it, emphasize what is important, emphasize the things that are making you great, emphasize the things that draw people to you in a healthy way, right? So make sure, why not me? Use that as a statement of drive. Yep. Make sure your emphasis is in the right spot because, man, that's just where it's at. You got to emphasize the right things.
I love that. Such a powerful message. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We also talk about, too, you talked in your talk about the fact that weight loss is not kind of a one-time deal, right?
Yeah, no.
Weight loss itself is an actual journey.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing about journeys, John. Like, we have to view our entire life, our overall journey to health and wellness as just that, as a journey, right? We have to realize also that most journeys, our journeys are not just physical. It's not just about weight loss. It's also mental. It's emotional. And I would dare say it's spiritual, right? Absolutely. All of it. And here's the thing. Like, the biggest part of my journey was not what I eat. It was why I eat. And when I came back from the show and felt like an addict, I had to go to a counselor. I had to go to Julie. It's the first time I ever met her, and pull back those layers and figure out, what is it driving me to eat? What is it? Not what am I eating, but why am I eating? What are those issues? And what you realize is this: the journeys that are often really worth it are often really, really difficult. I think about food every day. I suffer from an eating disorder. I have binge eating disorder, you know? But the thing is, you can't view what's difficult as negative, and you can't view what's hard as not worth it, and you certainly can't view pain and discomfort as a limit to your potential, because your potential is out there. You got to go get it. And there it is. We hear it all the time. Being overweight is hard. That's right. Losing weight is hard. Choose your hard, right?
Yep.
It's hard to choose broccoli and salmon when you want a deep dish pizza.
Yep.
It's hard to choose chicken and vegetables when you want pasta and pizza and all the things and donuts. But you know what else is hard? Looking in the mirror and hating who you are.
Yep.
What else is hard is getting rid of all of your clothes because you were so proud of yourself, and going out and having to buy a pair of pants that's a size up. That's hard too. It's hard, but why not choose the hard that's going to benefit you? Why not choose the hard that's going to make you happy with you, joyous, because happiness is fleeting. Make you, joyous about who you are. And I know that it's hard, but here's the thing. Okay, do I have time to share about my favorite movie? Do I have time?
Absolutely, because this is one of your best messages, your best deals. This is
one of my favorite of all times, and I share it in so many talks, so many people have heard it, and I get back up. Don't go to that slide yet. Don't go to that slide. Hold on, give me a second. All right.
Yep.
Because all right. I want to set it up. My favorite movie is A League of Their Own. All right. It is A League of Their Own. I've seen it 44 times. I won't see it a 45th time because that would just be wrong in my world. And I should talk to my counselor about that too. But anyway,
it's all about the 44.
Right? So I've seen the movie over and over again, and I love it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. But it's about the Women's Professional Baseball League, and Dottie Hinson is the best player in the whole league. All right. So Dottie and her sister Kit have this really rocky season. They're fighting with each other. Kit gets traded, and it's before Game 7 of the World Series. Okay. So Kit's team is in the World Series, and so is Dottie. So it's 3-3. And before Game 7 of the World Series, Dottie, whose husband was wounded, or who was in the war, comes home. So the night before the game, he comes home, and she decides she's going to quit. The next morning, Jimmy Dugan, who's played by Tom Hanks, who's masterful in this movie, comes out. He sees his team over here, and they are loading the bus, right? He sees Dottie over here, and she's dressed to the nines, and she's got her suitcases, and she's putting them in her truck. And he walks over to her. He says, hey, Dottie, you going on a little road trip? And she says, no, Jimmy, I'm not. Bob got wounded in the war, and he's coming home. Or he came home last night, and we decided that we're going to go and we're going to start a family, right? So we're going to go start a family, and I'm going to quit. I don't need this anymore. Bob's home. I don't need this anymore. And he looks at her. Now, before Game 7 of the World Series.
Right.
That's not happening, right? So he looks at her and says, Dottie, don't do this. Don't give up on this. Don't give up on your dream. Don't do this. He said, if you do this, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. So I know it's been hard, but don't give up on this. You'll regret it forever. And she looks at him and she says, Jimmy, it just got too hard. He gets nose to nose with her. He looks her dead in the eyes and he says these words to her. He says, of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great. And that's what you've got on that slide. And every time I say it, I get goosebumps, right?
I'm telling you, I got them too.
The hard is what makes it great. Is this journey hard? Yes, it's the hardest thing that you will ever embark on. But guess what? Choose your dadgum hard. Yep. And choose the hard that's going to benefit you and make you healthy, right? I know this for a fact. Unless the Lord returns, ain't none of us getting out of here alive, right? 1 and 1 die. The statistics are not in their favor. 1 and 1 die. Ain't none of us making it out of here alive. But while you're here, you don't want to be miserable. You don't want to hate who you are. And it's going to be hard to make the tough decisions. But I'm going to tell you again, we were created to do great things. We got people in our clinic who beat cancer. I have a woman in my clinic, John, who buried a daughter from a distracted driver.
Oh my God.
I've got people who go through tough things, divorces, losses of children, losses of parents, relationships that are falling apart. We were created to do hard things, and I get that. But for heaven's sake, choose the hard that is going to work for you because you're worth it, right? I know it's hard. I don't poo-poo that. Every day I get it. I think about food every day. I think about what I'm going to have every day. Just before this episode, I thought, kind of want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Do you know what I had? I had a chocolate coconut bar.
Yeah,
Why?
you did.
It's packed with protein, right? And it's the best decision for me in that moment. Am I on phase 1? Nope, I'm on phase 3. But I found something that works for me, and it's called Ideal Protein. And it's a lifetime of learning how to live to make your hard not be so hard, because once you get into a rhythm, once you get into a routine, once you know what you're going to do, man, breakfast and snack for me are a piece of cake.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Christmas square, right? I'm having popcorn. I guarantee you that I'm having popcorn, right?
Amen, sister. Yep.
Thing again, of course it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it, and the hard is what makes it great. And I will tell you this: if you will stick to it, whoever's listening to this, if you stick to it, you keep your nose to the grindstone, you do what is best for you to make you the healthiest version of that you can be, you're not going to regret that. Because here's when the regret comes in. At night, when there's no one else around you, when you lay your head down, you think, oh, I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done it right. I wish I'd done it correctly. But every day gives us a new opportunity to start over. Every moment gives us a new opportunity to start over. And the hards are going to come, but you got to choose your hard.
Wow. 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 And you said it the other night too. We wake up every day. How many times, how many food decisions
I read
do
a
we
study.
actually have to make in this day?
Yeah. So I read a study a while back that said the average American makes 200 food-related decisions every day. That's the average American. So when I think about that, at first I was like, there is no stinking way. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. When I wake up, I think, okay, am I having coffee this morning? If I am going to have coffee, what am I going to have in it? I'm going to have chocolate protein shake. That means I need to have triple chocolate Keurig cup. Or should I just have regular and then put the cappuccino in there? I really like
And you've already got like 20.
Right. See, so now that is me, the average American, 200 food-related decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Us who struggle with food, it's got to be double that.
It's got to be more than that.
It has to be double that, right?
Absolutely.
Because I think about food a lot.
Yep.
You know, I'm meeting a friend for dinner tonight, and I've already looked at the menu 5 times because I want to know what I'm going to have before I even walk in, right? That's just it. That's
a skill. That's something we teach. That's something I do all the time. We find out where you're going to go. You don't walk in there just saying, I'm just going to go in and figure it out. Right? No, you can't do that. You have to have a plan going in. Right?
Absolutely.
Like you said before, failing to plan is planning to fail.
100%.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing, doing the protocol cuts down on those 200 decisions tremendously.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Tremendously.
Right.
And using that damn journal, right? That I don't have a journal. And a lot of people think of that journal as always being retrospective, but some of my star performers actually use it prospectively as their planning, as their guide. Hey, I plan out my next day each night. So, and then I can just make adjustments if something didn't go well, but I plan what's going to happen, right?
Right. That's it right there. That's it. Because here's the deal. When you think about the fact that someone makes 200 food-related decisions every day, that doesn't mean what you make in your home. That doesn't mean the decisions that you make elsewhere. None of that, right? So you're making a ton of decisions every day. And there's a such thing as decision fatigue. And how many times do we get home and say, someone says, what do you want to have for dinner? And you say, I don't even care.
Right. Right. Of Can't make that decision, right?
Right. So yes, and journaling, dadgummit.
Dadgummit.
I mean, people are like, I don't want to journal. You know what? Do you want to be 400 pounds? That's all there is to it. I don't want to. It's not. You know what? It's proven to work. I don't like to journal, but every time I put it in my phone, because if I don't, there are so many macros and calories that I forget about that I'm like, whoa, why am I up 3 pounds this week? Oh yeah, I had this or I had that, right? Yep. And for those of us who had a lot of weight to lose, guess what? We're carb intolerant. So you can put on a ton of weight very quickly. So you've got to journal. It's the one habit that you can really rely on to help you stay on track. Because the other thing you're doing is it's always in the forefront of your mind, of what you're having, of what you're eating. And you may say, I really don't want to pay that much attention to it. But if you
Right.
pay that much attention to it, it's going to come back and bite you in the behind.
And that's the thing. Writing it down makes it real. And it doesn't make it real to your coach.
Yep.
It actually makes it real to you. And that's the person that really counts.
Right.
I came on that realization and I was like, wait a second. They don't want to journal because it makes it real to them.
Yeah. But John, here's the other thing. With Ideal Protein, what do we say? Medically derived, scientifically proven. If it's in their journal, if it's not in their journal, and let's say that they're up 2 pounds that week, guess what? You're not on protocol. The scale doesn't lie.
Right.
We know through a scientific process that if you're on, your average weight loss is going to be about 2 to 3 pounds per week without fail. So I am the person that went to several nutritionists and dietitians and said, oh gosh, I just don't know why I'm 283 pounds. This is all I ate. Yeah, it's because there's 4,000 calories on there. And I didn't. Why? Because I'm embarrassed.
Yep.
I don't want to feel like I can't control my food. I'm Sonya Jones. You're John Barnes, right? I don't want to feel like I can't control that. So you lie to people, not because you want to deceive them, but man, because you're embarrassed about it. That's where the accountability comes into play. Man, it's huge. It's huge.
Well, and that's, you talked about the first two things, right? Using partial meal replacements as tools absolutely ups your effectiveness, both in weight loss and weight maintenance. Journaling, right? Ups it both in weight loss and in weight maintenance. But having a coach, having regular coaching visits, right? Yep. That's the next thing that ups the ante on all of this stuff, right?
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, they're awesome.
2 reasons, right? For me, it's number one, a coach's job is to get more out of you than you can get out of yourself. Right. And the second part of that is too, and I love this quote, and I wish I could attribute it to whoever said it, but we all need someone in our life who believes in us more than we believe in ourselves.
John, that's what I said about Jen Wiederstrom, right? She believed in me when I didn't believe in myself.
Yep.
It was that fueled that fire. But here's the other thing. I'm a coach by nature, right? I am a coach. I can coach you to run through a glass window and come back and be like, let's go. Let's do it all over again. That's one of my giftings. That's how God has created me. So I am a fantastic coach, and I know that. For everyone else, I'm a terrible coach for me because I don't hold myself accountable, right? I let it slide. There's no one else holding me accountable, right? So I mean, I can coach you to do anything. We can do anything together.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a terrible coach for me. That's how we all are, because we let so many things slide, right? We can't hold ourselves accountable. That's what makes Ideal Protein beautiful and perfect. Man, you've got great coaches. I have great coaches. They come into to our clinic, and it is a weekly motivational session. It is iron sharpening iron, saying, get on board, dot your I's, cross your T's, let's do it. But it's also a cheerleading session to say, man, you got this. Let's go. Let's go, right? And we will partner together with you every step of the way, because we get it. We understand the hold that food has on you. We understand all of those things. And man, we're with you every step of the way. I'm a great coach, but I'm a coach for me.
Absolutely. All right, Sonya, let's bring this in for a landing, right? There's one other key component that we really talk about with our clients to keep them motivated when the going gets tough. And what is that?
Remember your why. What is your why? Figure out your why. Do you know what your why is, right? So John, let me ask you this question. All right. So I'm interviewing you right now, right? Okay. And you heard it, but so I don't want you to give my answer, right? But in just normal conversation, why would you think that I started a weight loss clinic?
Well, again, for me, like I said, it's to pay it forward. It's
Right.
to help as many people transform their lives exactly like you were able to transform your life. That's why I talk to most 99.9% of Ideal Protein clinic owners, right?
Yeah, right.
It's to help as many people transform their lives
That's right.
from the inside out.
That's a really good reason. That's not even close to my why. It's a really good reason. But the why is the thing that's under the thing that's under the thing that's under the thing that you never even talk about. It's the thing that holds you captive at night. It's the thing that makes you get up and make the decision in the morning to do the right thing, even when no one else is looking. My why boils down to one thing. And one thing really, as it relates to my weight loss clinics, I was a 283-pound overweight elementary PE teacher and a coach. I was a track coach. I was a softball coach. And I felt like a complete embarrassment. I felt like a hypocrite. I felt like the biggest PE teacher around, certainly the biggest track coach around.
Yeah.
And I felt like a hypocrite. And I will tell you this, I hated who I was physically. I believed that I had a lot to offer people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was a great person, right? Great person. And I was able to help a lot of people. However, I hated me because of who I was physically. And my why is this. When our clients walk through the door, I see it in their eyes. They hate who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like the skin they're in. And my why is that if I can help one person transform that, that's why I do what I do.
Yes.
I will keep the main thing forever. And the main thing is, yes, to pay it forward. You're spot on. To help others transform, to help others do the things to get them into the best space that they can be in. But my why, and a good place to start with the question about what's your why is this. What breaks your heart? What breaks your heart? Because it's a very noble cause to help other people transform. I want to do that. It's a very noble cause, but that's not what drives me, because my why is about me. My why is that I want to see the consistent change in my life for others, because I know that it's attainable, right? And here's the thing.
Yep.
I love The Biggest Loser, John. You know that. I love everything about it. I had a great experience on it. But here's what I believe. If I'm not doing something today that I'm proud of, I'm missing the mark. I'm missing the mark, right? So I've got to do something today that makes me proud. I'm so grateful for that past journey. That's why we're talking today, because of The Biggest Loser and what it's done in my life. But if I'm not doing something today that I'm proud of, I'm missing it. And here's what I want people to know. Know your why. Figure it out. Your why is not about other people. It's about you, right? It's about you. I want to live long for my kids. Right. Why? And you keep asking why. And sometimes your why will make you cry, because it's things that you don't even want to admit. It's things you hate about you. And that's what you want to change. But here's the thing. Like I said, I'm so grateful for The Biggest Loser. I love it. But we are all capable of making any decision that we want to. You are capable of making any decision that you need to make right now to get yourself better mentally, emotional, spiritually, and physically, right? And I can tell you firsthand, man, you will be so thrilled that you made those changes. You don't have to go to the ranch to make a change. You don't have to go to The Biggest Loser to make a change. But you need to know what your ranch is. You need to know where your ranch is. You've got to find your ranch, and you have to go get it. And through that entire process, you have to remember your worth and your value is not tied to a number on a scale. Your attitude will determine everything. You've got to make sure your emphasis is in all of the right areas. You've got to commit to go with a plan, figure it out, and just go do it. But most importantly, you got to find your happy place. You got to find your why. When you do that, proceed with reckless abandon. Go get it. And remember all along, you're worth it, because you're worth the battle. You're worth the fight, and you are worth every reason behind your why. The hard will always be there. You choose your hard to become the very best version of you that you can be. And remember all along, you're worth it.
Speechless.
Good, because I thought we would start connection.
Drop the mic.
John, right? It just is, man. This is a battle that our people they don't expect greatness. Expect to be great.
Like you said.
Please.
Why not you?
Be great. Yeah, why not you?
Why not you?
Greatness. You expect it in other areas. You demand it in other areas. Demand it in this area. Don't look back.
The challenge of it, Sonya, and most people are up against it. Dang, it is hard out there right now. The weight loss landscape, there's so the battle that we are up against, the messaging we're getting from all sides, people have now it's just even harder to make a decision as to what they're going to do. Why would I try this? Why would I failed before? This person says eat this person. I mean, it's so hard, right?
Yeah.
That's why you have to hear the message.
Right.
This time it will be different.
That's right. Absolutely. And there are so many different things out there to try, and I just want to say this, like, I get it. I was 17 years old when I went on Fen for the first time. I've done every diet known to man. I did South Beach. I did Atkins. I'm not that bright. You know that. So I get the fats confused and do some weird version of like South Atkins that never worked. I do cabbage soup diet. I did Weight Watchers. I did Jenny Craig. I did Nutrisystem. I did all the things, right? Yeah. I've done the medications that have come out.
Yeah.
I did it all. This protocol, and I can't say it any more clearly than I am right now looking you eye to eye. This is I have an eating disorder. Hi, my name is Sonya Jones. I have binge eating disorder that's off the charts, right? I have been on every diet plan known to man. Ideal protein is the only thing that has worked for me to lose weight, to keep the weight off long term. I'm going into my 9-year finale is going to be coming up in just a couple of months. And guess what? I'm thrilled with where I am. I love it. Yeah. Right. And so, there's a lot of things out there. This is the only thing that I've ever found that will work for me. And I've been on it all. That's why I'm such an advocate of Ideal Protein. And man, our coaches and our clinic owners, some of them, I'm telling you what, are just money. And you're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people, I don't know about this and that, but do you, boo, right? Do you? If you find something better, you let me know. It's not going to happen. Do you?
I haven't heard that one yet.
I'm serious, man. I get so tired of people. Well, it worked. It worked for me one time, but I just can't do it now. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Strap your boots on. Let's go. Go out again. Because you don't fail unless you quit. If you quit, then you fail. If you're going to fail forward. Learn something. Set your mindset. Go hard after it and make it happen. Make it stinking happen because you can do it and you're worth it.
Thank you so much, Sonya.
Thank you, John.
I can't thank you enough. This is so many people out there need to hear some part of this episode, and it's going to strike them right where they need it.
I just want them to hear us say again from Ideal Protein Nation, for Ideal Protein Nation.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yep.
We're in the battle with you every single day. We believe in you. You're worth it, and we'll help you get there. We'll help you get there. I mean, go ahead.
I think you just touched the heart of every Ideal Protein coach, and we certainly we've embraced this in my clinic. You are seen,
Yeah.
You are heard and you are loved.
Absolutely. That's
Yep.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
We have the best job on the planet. I'm so
We do.
grateful for Dawn, our CEO, and the
Yep.
people who are doing everything they can to help us be successful. I
Yep.
can't say that enough, man. I just
Amen.
so grateful
Right.
for Ideal Protein in every way. It's
Well, like I said, it's been the answer to a lot of my prayers, both personally and professionally.
absolutely.
And truly, this is a battlefield that I'm willing to die on.
Me too. Me too. Yep. It's worth it because they're worth it.
All right, Sonya, hang out backstage for a second. I'm going to take you out and let's close this thing up.
All right. See you guys.
Wow. Literally, you need to listen to that one. You need to watch that one over and over and over again in the coming days, the coming weeks. Send it to your friends who are struggling or having issues. Please. That's everything. Again, always exceeds my expectations. So happy to bring you that episode. So, hey, I've got more coming. Please stay tuned because, man, I'm rolling out the guests in the future. We are going to do another show with the one and only Geneva Eichhoff. We're going to bring her in to talk to you about baking and doing things in the holidays, certain alternatives, as well as ideal protein swaps. Swapping different products for ones that aren't available right now. And then part 2 with Wendy White Stevens. It's going to be one where you're going to have to bring the tissues. We talked about the science of ideal protein. We're going to talk about the humanity of it all. She's going to share with us some very deep personal things, parts of her journey when she was on the weight loss journey, as well as what's going on today in her maintenance life. So I'm bringing it to you, Ideal Protein Nation, because I love you. Every story needs to be told. So stay tuned.